Welcome to episode we don't know because somebody was out partying and clubbing, traveling the world. He was doing the Robin Leach thing. What is it? What is it?
Lifestyles of the
Lifestyles of
rich
the
and
rich
famous.
and famous, caviar wishes and champagne dreams.
Yes.
This was this guy right here, and this guy over here, he was just in the streets. I don't know what he was doing, and of course, unfortunately for me, a doctor stabbed me in the eye, so I couldn't see. So, but nonetheless, we digress. Welcome to the Novice Sports Show, where three guys came together organically to talk about sports from a novice point of view. Like I said, again, we did pick up a subscriber. Again, thank you. We up to 23. So again, let's keep that momentum going. Like, share, tell your friends about us if you want to laugh about sports and take a non-serious approach. But with that, we're going to jump into our intros. We got my man.
AJ.
We got
Jay.
we got A Dub. So this week in NFL on Tuesday, I saw a post and I was just like, that can't be true. So of course I Googled it, I looked it up, and it said Robert Sala, who was was it 2-3-2, 3-2. They about to win the division. If they win this week, they fired their coach. Woo wee! Never in my life have I seen a coach get fired 5 games in with a winning record. So my interpretation is when I watched them play over in London while they did lose, the body language between our boy, what is his name? AR, and the coach was not good. He looked like he gave him that Aaron Rodgers, I'm about to get you fired. Look, he did to McCarthy. Like, I don't like you. Why are you talking to me? All of a sudden on Tuesday, wow, he'll go. But like I said, never in my you know, football watching. I've seen coaches get fired on Black Monday, after the season, maybe midway through the season, like they did Rule with 5 games in. That's the new man. I think that's going to set a new precedent. I want my microwave now. I'm sticking in the microwave. I want my championship on Sunday. You got to build a program. But like I said, I don't, in my opinion, like I said, I don't know Robert at all. I think probably a great guy. But it seems like he was just too he wasn't as likable as we said earlier, right? In the locker room. I mean, like I said, with the defense they had, that defense should be playing lights out. They should be, to me, 4-1. But like I said, Aaron coming back from that Achilles, it takes time to what's the word, heal up and get into the rhythm. And of course, they really ain't got no offensive weapons other than was it Bryce Hall and maybe that one receiver. So what y'all got on
Man, I think Aaron Rodgers is to blame. I mean, I can't look. They brought him in to be the savior of the franchise, right? Everything they said last year was they got everything you need except for a quarterback.
it?
And then Aaron Rodgers gets hurt first game, and the rest is history. So they came in this year, they're like, look, all we need is a quarterback. We got Aaron Rodgers, one of the all-time greats. Defense is great. Everything is good. It's not like they were 0-5. That's the thing. So clearly it's not, to me, it's not football related. It's personalities, it's something else. Maybe he having an affair with the owner's wife. I don't know. But something is not right. And the body language and you know, the stuff, the clips you see with Aaron giving him the side eye and him trying to dap him up and Aaron like giving him the double,
Yeah,
push off. Like, and then whenever here's the kiss of death. Whenever they start asking you, hey, how's y'all's relationship? Oh, it's great, man. We hang out.
No, we
You
don't.
know something's wrong with the relationship.
Yeah.
And the writing's on the wall that it's not gonna last long.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna say it's all Aaron Rodgers' fault, but I think it's all Aaron Rodgers' fault.
even if it is, I appreciate Aaron not throwing them under the bus.
You can't throw him on the bus. You can't come out and
No
say,
bus to throw him under.
look,
Now,
look, look.
the bus left him. The coach is standing on the side of the road waiting for a ride.
The sad part about that is, that's football speak, right? When T.O. did it with Donovan McNabb, remember that?
Now,
Or better yet, last year, of course, this is the Eagle reference with AJ and Hurts was going at it on the sideline, and they were like, yo, my quarterback can't throw. of course, he might do a, what do you call it? He might do a ghost tweet
Yeah,
and then come back and say,
I got hacked.
I got hacked. It wasn't me. That was somebody else. No, like you said, we hang out all the time. Right?
See, look, I don't see. To me, I prefer the TO style of just come straight out and be like, my quarterback's not very good. My quarterback, we lost that game because my quarterback was out of shape and he folded up.
And he threw up.
Yeah, as opposed to that passive aggressive stuff,
Yeah.
which a lot of players do. Some of my favorite players do.
Yeah.
That behind, behind the scenes, you throwing a little jab,
Yeah,
but in public, you're like, now we good.
Like,
And then behind the scenes, more little jab.
I don't like ham.
yeah.
Right. Like I said,
don't eat
one of my favorite people.
pork.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm not gonna tell you what to eat,
Yeah,
but
but
around in my table, we don't like
ham.
ham.
Darvin.
So if
I get a stomach ache when I
eat ham,
Yeah.
maybe we should not have ham around my table.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's some of the passive aggressive things that happen in sports, or what as we call coach speak.
Yeah.
in
But
my world.
I personally, I can't put my finger on why they fired the coach either.
Well, I mean,
It has to be like as they said,
Mhm.
it has to be something personal.
Well, it's not only personal. I mean, you
I
have to look at because I went ahead and kind of dug into it just a little bit because while I was at work, just to listen to it, they were talking about how the locker room, he was going to lose the locker room, how they weren't listening to him. I mean, because he'd only been there like 3 years, and of course, I guess in the third year in the NFL, that's when you're really supposed to be turning it around. You're supposed to be winning close games. They were losing close games, and of course, the way they lost in London, kind of, his message, as we always say, it got dull. People started checking out, and they said they didn't want the whole team to check out prior to, because again, they have to take advantage of Aaron,
Right.
because he's what, 38.
Yeah,
So,
38, 39.
38,
Yeah.
39, and I think I don't, Father Time's undefeated. Sorry.
No, right now he's in a tight battle with my boy LeBron James.
Yeah.
Yeah,
LeBron is hanging with Father Time right now.
hanging
But anyway,
with him, but
we'll talk about him later.
yeah, we talk about him, but yeah, like I said, so in football we take a little more hits. You got to take advantage of Aaron, because right now I think in his division he probably is the best quarterback, other than Josh Allen. So Josh Allen's just younger and runs over people.
I don't know, man. I think like
You know
if
who
the
I got.
if the coach is losing the locker room,
Yeah.
if you don't have the support of your best player,
Yeah, it makes it hard.
then it's done, right? So if Aaron Rodgers isn't supporting, because just like with LeBron, with Tom Brady, with Aaron Rodgers, with those guys, if they support the coach ain't going anywhere.
Right.
If they don't, even if they don't come right out and say it, if they just kind of
Just don't even say
Right.
anything at all.
then that opens up the door.
Yeah.
I mean, who's their interim? Like
The OC,
the OC? I mean,
the OC, the guy who's calling the horrible offense.
you know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
just-
why are you gonna
it's
put
acting.
him in there? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean that way. I mean, you can't. I mean, I've never heard anybody hiring well, other than the Colts hiring Jeff Friday or Saturday.
Sunday, Monday.
In the middle of the season. That's the only time I've ever seen that. And of course, he didn't get the job because
Well, they were.
he was a rah guy.
Yeah, and they didn't win.
And they didn't win it.
But I'm saying, like, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about the Jets defense in the last 3 years.
Right.
So why not promote the defensive coordinator?
Because we've said this before. Defense don't sell tickets.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers sells.
Tickets,
Yeah.
himself.
And-
He's the offense.
He's
And,
offense, but
and if the offense is already not doing what you wanted it to do, you're going to promote the dude that isn't doing
good.
that? So I don't know.
well, look. Who
But that's
knows?
why they're the Jets.
We'll see.
Well, see, not only that, but
Yeah.
maybe he has a better relationship with the OC.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's probably it. Because I guarantee they came to Aaron and said, hey, we think about making this move. What do you think? Yeah, let's go ahead and make it. What do you think about, there's no way Aaron didn't have some kind of say in it. I mean, I would not believe that he
Yeah,
didn't.
I would believe that. That goes back to, hey, in the professional ranks, players have the power versus in college where the coaches have
Yeah.
the power.
Yeah.
Like that. We've said this before. I'm going to cut my $2 million coach and my $40 million quarterback.
Exactly.
Especially the guy that's selling tickets.
Yeah. Yep.
with his wonderful points of view.
You
So
get
no
another
comment.
coach, you can't get another Aaron Rodgers.
Well, no,
Right.
you can't. But Aaron's, I mean,
I mean, you went all in on Aaron.
You
It
did.
is what
You
it
can't
is.
get another.
yeah, you
It
going
is
all
what it
in. I
is.
mean,
Um,
they went all in a little late. I mean, if that's the case, they should have just went and got Devontae Adams too. I mean,
well, I think they're trying to,
well,
but
they're
I
trying.
don't know that the Raiders bite now.
Nah, normally when they do trades, they normally don't do like I said, when they trade you, they don't trade you to somebody they may have to play later. Maybe if let's say the Raiders ain't going to the playoffs, I'm just saying, but hypothetically speaking, they tend to trade you outside of your conference.
Well, they said that's why they're not going to trade him to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Chiefs were talking about it because
Yeah.
they need receivers.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Now the Raiders are definitely not going to trade him to the Chiefs." So,
No.
but I mean, there's a lot of Devontae's out there, and there's a lot of people that
You
want
could
him.
work something out.
But
Well,
I don't know that they trade him. I think they probably just hold
I
on
think
to
they're
him.
asking for too much. I think they want a number 2 for Devontae. I think, but I think everybody is offering like maybe a 3 or 4.
I mean, if you're all in trying to win now,
Then you offer 2.
and you feel like he's a piece that can help get you over the top. And if the Raiders are desperate enough, I think you could get away with a 3. But
Right.
if the Raiders aren't that desperate and they say, "Nah, we're going," and they're like, "We 2 or nothing," then you got to make the decision: is it worth bringing him in? Can we work him in?
Yeah.
That's why I like the Jets would be good because he already has a relationship with
Right.
Aaron Rodgers. Or you find somebody that runs the same type of offense, and then you got to figure out how's he gonna fit with the team. Like there's a lot. But if you're
Right
going
in the
all,
middle of a season.
Well, it's not in the middle of the season. The middle season approaches. Remember, we got a 17-game season, so we're looking at games still going on in January.
but if you're all in, that's the kind of talent you want to bring
Yeah.
in, and you just it might work, it might not work.
Didn't he want to go?
No, but no. Okay, so
Yeah,
he was
he
a Green-
did when he
was.
originally-
Yeah, well, he was at Green Bay, and they threw a whole bunch of money at him. I mean, because Green Bay wasn't going to do it. So he, him and Aaron talked. Literally, he said, "I talked to Aaron. Aaron was like, go get your money, because they're not going to give it to you. Go get your money. I mean, and then you have to hit. I mean, that's like making a
I know
bet.
all that coaching stuff was in the midst of him being there too. Coaching change.
No, they've had that same guy for a while.
Huh.
So because their issue in Green Bay was the fact that they drafted Love.
No, I'm saying when he went to the Raiders.
Well, yeah, you got Gruden. Gruden was gone, and then they
Yeah.
brought in Josh McDaniels. Oh Lord, I don't know how that guy keeps getting a job. He ruined the Broncos. He ruined the Raiders. He goes back to New England, and next year or something, he'll have another coaching opportunity. Bruh, you strike 1, strike 2.
But I
Help
hope
me out.
Devontae finds a happy home.
Well, I mean, they're not
Still a
used to
good
that.
talent.
Well, he's a good talent. They don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, it's hard
Gardner Minshew.
to be a good Well,
Come
look,
on, man.
and then last year what he had Garoppolo.
Yeah, Garoppolo, who throws the bar. I can throw the bar 15 yards.
Yeah,
I mean, for real. I mean, I can stand in the pocket and throw the. You won't pay me. And look, if you won't pay me, you pay me 15 mil. I will stand in the pocket and take them hits and throw the ball. I'll put my life on the line for that 1 year.
Yeah.
I'll make sure we finish last so we get one of the best quarterbacks coming out the draft next this season. But with that, so like I said, speaking of quarterback and surprises, like I said, and draft, that kind of brings us to our next topic, which is we've had some Cinderella surprises and stories, Washington being one of them. Washington was, i.e., a disaster. They got rid of Daniel Snyder. They brought in new ownership. They made some coaching changes, traded some players, got them off the roster to clear some cap space. They got a quarterback. They brought in Dan Quinn, and who's that coach? The offensive coach that was at Arizona. So they brought him in. So because the quarterback up anyway. We're talking not Ken. But we right. But yeah, that young man. They came in. So and of course they got Terry McLaurin. They got a solid. They've always had a solid run game.
Bobby Ingram,
No, not the
Yeah,
head coach.
not head coach.
Not head coach. The offense coordinator. Because he was the
he was the head coach at Arizona.
Yeah.
Cliff.
Kingsbury.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury. They brought in Cliff Kingsbury, and now they're running that RPO offense, which is similar to what he ran in college, Jaden Daniels. So, again, the Cinderella story is Jaden Daniels. He's tearing up the league right now, kind of like what C.J. Stroud did last year. But of course, you have to remember, guys, and we all need to take this into account. They got a last place schedule.
Yep.
So they're not playing any of the top tier defenses. They're not playing any of the top tier teams. Today they will have a test of playing the Baltimore Ravens because the what do you call it? The Baltimore Ravens have a really good defense and a really good offense.
Yep.
So this will be a test. I mean, I really don't expect them to win, but if they do win, it may not. It will surprise me. So
I'm gonna tell you something about the Washington because I
you up there?
a lot of friends back home that are diehard.
Don't forget about your brother.
Oh, and my brother, diehard Washington fans, right?
Mhm.
And so we were debating, talking about quarterback, right?
Mhm.
And I said, man, the best thing that happened to y'all
Mhm.
was not getting the #1 pick last year. What are you talking about? I said, because y'all
Yeah,
would have taken Caleb Williams.
Yep.
No, we wouldn't. I
Yes,
said,
you
yeah,
would.
you would have. And so I'm like, you. And I got my boy back home he was very adamant about I don't like Caleb Williams.
Mhm.
I don't like his off the field stuff, right? And that's what he said. And I was like, hey, I give you credit for saying that.
Mhm.
So, but bottom line is you don't work for Washington.
You want to sell him tickets?
Everybody, no matter what team it was that had the #1 pick last year,
Mhm.
was gonna take
Yeah, well,
Caleb Williams. You got lucky by getting the #2. Now, where you get points, and right now it looks like a great move that you chose Jaden over Drake May. 'Cause remember, for the last 2 years, everybody said, wait till this year comes. You got two generational type talents, Caleb Williams, Drake May. Nobody was talking about Jaden at that time.
they weren't.
Jaden had a historic great season, won the Heisman,
Yep.
and then that put him in the conversation to be one of those top three. And then Washington evaluated. They said, hey, we like Jaden better.
Mhm.
And right now, that looks like it's paying off. Now, Drake's going to get his first start today, and I don't think it's going to go well. And, down the road, who knows what happens. If you remember, years ago, the top two quarterbacks coming out were Andrew Luck
Yep.
and RG3.
Yeah.
And both of them came out
Amazing.
great,
Game.
right? And RG3, if I'm not mistaken, actually got Rookie of the Year.
Yes, he did.
He just couldn't stay healthy,
And
right?
he playing on that bad
Yeah.
knee.
So if they can keep Jaden healthy, and what I like about what they're doing with him is they're bringing the offense along slowly. So if you look at the first couple weeks,
The added stuff.
it was like 5-yard, little short passes, and they keep adding stuff to get his confidence up.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah.
And so they haven't even unleashed the whole playbook yet. And so
If the Panthers want to
smart.
take a note out of
No.
someone,
No, he will not listen.
see, but again, it wouldn't have mattered because same deal. Everybody's giving credit to the Texans for taking CJ, but a lot of people with the #1 pick would have taken Bryce. Now the Texans, if they had the #1 pick, they may or may we'll never know,
Right.
and they'll never say.
Yeah.
They may have taken Bryce.
Maybe.
But when your team is as bad as the
Yeah.
Panthers are, it's hard to tell if Bryce is any good or not.
Right.
I mean, he's small, yes, but if you looked at him in
Yeah, all the
college, all the intangibles, I mean, he's no smaller than Jaden Daniels is, really.
He's just
He's not any smaller than
Drew Brees.
Lamar was small.
Yeah.
Drew
Tua.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray. All
Yeah.
these are small
But
dudes.
see, but if
And Colin real small.
Yeah.
Tyler's smaller than me.
Yeah. So, the size thing, when you're evaluating, especially when you're picking that high, it's like your franchise is on the line, really, because you're trying to pick your franchise guy. For whatever reason, they like Bryce. Hasn't gone well. His career's not done,
No, I
by
think
any
that-
stretch. But sometimes people need to watch. Sometimes people need to
That's the
see. Yeah, they threw him to the
They
wolves,
threw him to
man.
the wolves, and that's
Gonna ruin his.
we always. You pick him first.
You're not very
You're
good.
not very good
Yeah.
at all, and that's in any sport.
Yeah.
Baseball, football,
Yeah.
basketball, hockey.
Yeah.
You pick it first.
Yeah.
You don't have an all-star team.
Exactly.
You might have one all-star.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got the limp.
You got
Exactly.
that's like leftover Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Now look, the exception to that is the Bears, who
Had a good team.
tricked the
Panthers.
Panthers into trading up to getting that one, And then they end up getting the generational dude the
Yeah.
next year. Like, it's just crazy how that works out, right?
Well, yeah, but so who's the other? There's another one, another Cinderella story that we have.
Minnesota.
Yes, Minnesota and the quarterback who has trounced around the league. They actually drafted J.J. McCarthy. He hurt himself in training camp.
And now you gotta
Now he's
go with
an old Red Bull rusty veteran. So
wasn't he at Carolina last year?
no, he was he was
Or
he,
2 years
no,
ago?
he went 2 years ago. He was at Carolina.
Yeah.
He was at New York. So he's been then he went to San Fran.
Yeah.
Then he went to he went to
They've been everywhere.
he was at San Fran after he was at San Fran at his last stop before he went to Minnesota.
Okay. He was
So
back
he
up
was a
last
backup.
year. San Fran.
San Francisco. And like you said, that goes back to what you said earlier. Sometimes you need to sit and learn.
Yeah.
Most of these, it's very rare that a first round quarterback jumps in and like turns it around. Again, you're going to the worst team. Sometimes you need that maturity to say, okay, let me sit back, let me watch, let me learn. You learn the processes. You learn, okay, this play breaks down, right? I watched a couple college games last night, and I watched where the play broke down, and the quarterback was trying to make something happen, and he got sacked. No, throw the ball away.
Yeah.
He said, throw it away. It's 3rd and 10 or 2nd and 10, not
Instead of
3rd
third
and 50.
Yeah, exactly.
He said, throw the ball away. So that's some of the maturity that comes with sitting and watching. And again, what's his name? O'Donnell. What's his name again? I forgot his name.
Udoma.
No, Minnesota quarterback.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. Thank you. Sam Darnold because if he's in New York, worst team. He leaves New York. He goes here. He goes to Carolina. He bounces around. So he's going to Carolina. Left Carolina. Go to San Fran. Get part of that winning. What is it? Like a winning atmosphere. You know how. So See, and that's part of it too. You go to a team that has a winning culture. So you learn from that winning culture. These are the things we need to do to win. That'd be like going to the Patriots when Brady was there to learn how to win. Makes sense to me. These are the little things we do. This is how we run practice. X, Y, Z, and I think he took some of that to Minnesota.
And you got to think about it, like when they draft you, say what you want, like it's an inexact science. We say this all the time, but they have dudes that are paid to scout you, to evaluate every single thing about you. When a team takes you in the top, we're really in the first round, they think you got something, right? So Sam Darnold, talent-wise, is not a scrub.
No.
Right.
He just hadn't been in the right situation, the right coach, right whatever, or maybe he wasn't quite ready. Now he's 4 years in, 5 years in. He's older.
He could be 20, 28, 30. In between that. And again, that's where quarterbacks start to hit their stride, right? They start to peak. They go into their 35s. They want to hit 35.
Yeah, he's not even near. He's nowhere near that old.
He's starting to peak up. If this works out.
Right.
I mean, like I said, but again, he's in the right situation.
Right.
They're playing the right team, like that, and they're putting up points. He's got a number one. He's got a serious number one receiver in Jefferson.
Yeah.
He's got a tight end. He has an O-line that can block. And again, these are all the things you need in place.
Yeah.
When you talk about being a quarterback,
It's a sticks for it.
Yeah. Like I said, the only quarterback I've ever seen in my life who had no O-line and no help was Dan Marino, and maybe Dan Fouts. But Dan Fouts had a heck of a tight end.
Well, and Dan Marino, I thought their offensive line was okay, but he had that crazy fast release.
Yeah, 1.2 ball out. I mean, he wasn't sacked. If he got sacked, I don't know how. I mean, you got one heck of a get off.
Yeah.
Because that ball was out. He was like 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go. And I'm talking about bombs.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's a surprising story, by the way.
And then speaking of quarterbacks,
Yep.
Look,
Ooh.
we had these high expectations for Miami.
Yeah.
And then you lose your quarterback, and now you can't even score a point. You can't even score a touchdown.
You can't score 17 points in a game.
Yeah. Didn't they have a game where they scored 3 that first?
Look, you can't score 17 points with Waddle, Mostert, that's the running back with all the speed. Hill. Come on.
I mean, occasionally I play for y'all.
He said, he said, just throw it up. I'll get it. Just throw it up.
Yeah. But when you gear everything around a certain quarterback and he gets to know his receivers and they have all this success, and then he's gone, and there was no plan B.
It sure wasn't.
And so I mean they had to bring in was it Huntley? The dude from
they brought in Huntley.
Just to see if they can patch something together. I do think Tua will be back. and I don't think
Kyrie was on the sideline just
shaking his head. I mean, because Huntley is a running.
jumping up and down.
But no, he's a okay. Huntley, I won that bet. Thank you. Huntley is a running quarterback, and of course, you got to remember this is you, it is so hard to learn an NFL playbook.
Yeah,
It ain't this people. It's this. You know, you got to corner steps a certain way. That changes the whole play.
100 books combined together with a certain terminology that you need to know in 0.5 seconds.
Yeah, and mind you, by the way, he's coming from Baltimore.
Yep.
For completely different terminology.
Right.
So I
come behind Lamar.
So of course, that system is more designed for running quarterback and short passes. Miami system is not. You got all this speed. That ball ain't out when it's gone.
Yeah.
You throwing it behind the receiver because he runs a 4.29.
Yeah.
What do you do? I made the break. Why's the ball back here, bro?
Yeah. It's really how it is.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but Tyreek, you got to hit him in stride. You got to hit Waddle in stride. Yeah, so. What did it say? I'm sorry. I'm moving. Oh, pause. Let's pause it. Yeah, so, we were talking about, the speed moving along, that offense, like I said. Again, that's been a disappointment, like I said, because, they were set to win the division more or less. I mean, like I said, think about New England's down. The Bills have decided that they gave away their entire defense, but they've been a surprise. But with that offense, they were going to chew them up. But like I said, without having that quarterback, the centerpiece that runs everything.
Speaking of quarterback,
mm-hmm.
You got your favorite quarterback over there in San Fran looking.
He look all right. He doing what he can. I mean, I'm surprised that, and again, but of course, that's the Super Bowl hangover everybody talks about, right? When they came out, won that first game, I was like, ooh, they won that game impressively. They really did. But because they played the Jets, I picked the Jets to win that game because of what? Super Bowl hangover, XYZ. They went out real impressive, but that should have been a measurement stick of how bad the Jets really are, right? But of course, that was Aaron's first game back, literally from the injury. So, he's got to get into a rhythm. But when you look at the games they lost to Arizona, they lost to the Rams, and those are two division rivals. They beat Seattle, and again, that was not a blowout. That was a close game. So you're looking at, but of course he doesn't have all his weapons. Yeah,
Christian McCaffrey's the biggest one.
Yeah, Chris McCaffrey's out, so there's no real run game.
How long he's gonna be out?
Yeah.
Well, that running back is doing well. He's just not Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah,
he just don't have the same impact.
Yeah. Mason is a serviceable running back.
You got Brandon.
You re-signed Brandon, but Brandon's targets haven't been high. They haven't. I mean, he hasn't. The last game, he didn't get 7.5 targets. He only got 2.
Who's he throwing to? Because he's like third in yardage.
Kittle. He's going to Kittle in the second tight end, and he's also throwing to Debo. He's throwing to Debo. He's been throwing to Debo. Debo's been making some runs. I mean, in the Thursday night game, he scored on a long run. Screen? No, he scored on a long run. He threw the ball up. He caught it and he ran it. So so he's throwing the ball to somebody, maybe backside of the backfield, but it ain't Brandon Ayuk. Because there was
one game Brandon Ayuk had a great game.
Arizona.
Yeah,
Arizona game. So, but that was it. So I mean, and Brandon Ayuk's the number one target. He's not getting number one targets. Because I mean, you should be getting at least 10 to 12 targets a game as a number one receiver. But of course, that also speaks to if you're up by 2 scores, you're not throwing the ball. You're running it. I mean, especially like, but of course, when you look at the Arizona game, they were up 13 plus points. They lost that game. They were up in the LA game, which means they were running the ball, and they came back and beat them. So
yeah, Purdy's taking again. He's throwing for a lot of yards compared to everybody else, but this is his contract year.
Yep.
So he's picking a bad time to have a shaky
year.
Yeah. So yeah.
Maybe Twan. Maybe hear Twan comment.
He did. Yeah, he needs to. Like I said, what I always say, if your quarterback needs to carry the team. Like I said, without the talent,
it's starting to get to him.
Yeah, he listening to the podcast.
Yeah, he's starting to get to
it. Well, he's due to make a whole lot of money.
He's gonna make.
He's gonna make some.
He's gonna make some bank. I mean, because he's a quarterback. I mean, you're gonna play. You got to pay. that got what?
And he's more like a low maintenance. He don't ask.
Well, this is the thing. You can't ask when you're the last pick of the draft.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
He's done the things he's doing out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So people loved him when he was the cheap underdog
Here we go.
story.
Cheap.
Now he's about to be expensive diva quarterback like everybody else. And now you got to make a decision. Do we want to do that or not? So, that'll be interesting because
and with that, the expectations go up.
Yep.
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 We don't need to keep going right there. We need to finish.
Once you ink that $250 million contract,
Yeah.
ask your boy in Cleveland. Again, another surprise.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
What's Watson? Watson was the darling of the league
Yeah.
in Houston.
He was the top five quarterback easily.
He signed that deal, got traded to Cleveland. Now he can't throw the ball from here to this.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what that is. No,
It's
that's
all mental. I know
that's
it's all mental.
because of all that stuff that he had
Yeah.
going on,
Yeah.
and he still has going on.
Yeah.
Because I think he thought it was over, and now
It's
there's
not.
another case out there.
Mhm.
So I think that messes with you. Yeah, I don't know that we'll ever see.
Feels like he took his work home.
Well, no, they followed him.
Well.
They took it home. They followed him, got in his car,
Yeah,
drove down the block with him, turned around.
yeah,
So that's the sad part about it. See, and that tells you what they did. They said 90% of the game is mental. Everybody, everybody says, well, why is it so hard to get in the league? I said, anybody, I'm telling you right now, anybody in any league has the physical attributes.
Oh yeah, they're all
big. They're all fast.
Yep.
I said, it's what's in between here
Yeah.
that separates the alpha dog
Yeah.
from the dog. I said, that's what it is. I said, because that's what. I said, when you watch, like Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was 6'1", 295?
Yeah.
Coming out of Pittsburgh. Alpha dog. Because what? He studied the game. It was the mentals. He knew, I can get this tackle over here and he gets to help this guy here. 2 people ain't going to stop me. You're going to need to put 3 people. Because I'm going to do a spin move. You know what I'm saying? But he was technical. He was technical with it.
Yep.
So, yeah. Yeah, so so that the mental aspect of that, is what really affects Watson. And again, that's probably what's going to affect Bryce Young because it's taking all those hits and being in that one
that's
hit.
going to affect Tua when he comes back.
Oh yeah, well, that's a good.
Yeah, I mean, that's just crazy because
Mhm.
He has been through it,
Mhm.
and this isn't even like the first time. So hopefully he's more mentally prepared for it. But for him, I don't think it's the mental; it's the physical.
Yeah.
Because
I think it's mental at this point because it's like, do I scramble? Every time I scramble, I get hurt.
well, but what I'm saying is he's gotten hurt in every situation.
That is
When
true.
he's in the pocket, he got hurt. When he was scrambling, he got hurt. He just gets hurt. And so I think mentally he's probably okay. Physically, you just don't know what's going to happen. So it's like you're rolling the dice every time, he sits back there.
That's true. I think he needs to get rid of the ball cover. Say it.
I mean, you look at it though.
Look, he needs some Fitzpatrick in his life.
Man, I don't know, man.
He don't hold it too long.
Like fluky stuff happens to him, man.
I mean, it just said, look, the stars line up for that guy.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like he looked like a rag doll last year when they slammed him to the turf.
Well, I'm glad he got his money.
Yeah.
So at least nothing else, he got his money.
Good.
So he's
Financially.
good financially.
Yeah, I'm glad that happened. I'm glad that happened for him. But that's why I think that's one of the major reasons why he felt that. But they just made a huge.
No, that don't have nothing to do with him.
No.
That money is his regardless.
No,
I think he wants to come back because he just wants to come back for the team, and because that's what those, that's what he does.
No. If let's say he retires, right? Team gets a portion of that money.
No. The signing bonus is his.
Mhm.
If he did, because now people are doing guaranteed contracts,
Yeah.
and I don't know how much his was guaranteed,
Yeah.
but all that guaranteed money is his in the
Sure.
bank,
Because
100%.
I know because you remember Albert Hainsworth, right? Washington.
Yep.
When he went through his stuff, they sued him to get their money back.
See, that was different though.
Yeah, 'cause he,
One that was defensive lineman, and back then they weren't guaranteed for it. Back then it was just the signing bonus was it.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Nowadays these quarterbacks they're signing guaranteed
Guaranteed
deals,
contract.
and so I guarantee most of his money was guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope.
Yeah.
I hope he's
He
well.
signed on the correct line.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
to get his money.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are some of the changes that we'll have to talk about at a later date. Like I said, so with this show, we're going to bring this one to a close. Like I said, episode we don't know because we've lost track. But with that, again, it's the Novice Sports Show. Like I said, three guys who came together organically to talk about sports from a novice point of view. Like I said, we got my man
AJ.
We got
Jay.
we got A-Dub signing off. All right, till next time.
Peace.
Like, share, subscribe.